Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mixer as we continue our Hashtag United series in Football Manager 2019. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you had a wonderful holiday period. I think this episode comes out like a day or two before New Year's as well. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, know that I have love for you and I hope you have a fantastic time during the holidays as well. Bit of a bonus, I gave you guys a present, put out 2 episodes on Christmas Day for you guys to go back and check out. If you haven't seen them, please go and watch them before you watch this episode because it will make way more sense for some of the stuff that we're going to go through here, because we have been promoted into the English Eastern Counties League Premier Division, which is a mouthful. Eastern Counties Premier is what it goes by as its shorthand name. We're at the 212th level of competition reputation within the game itself. There's some decent teams in here, some teams that we've run into before last season in our successful League Cup campaign, like Norwich United, Galston, who we beat in the final itself. We took, who was it that we drew 1-1 with? They might have actually been promoted. Thetford Town it was. Stowmarket, who we're looking at, who last season had Titus Bramble on their books playing. I don't think he's I think he's retired. He's currently a coach, 20 adaptability, which is pretty phenomenal. But yeah, he has retired as well. And unfortunately for us, we've had a couple of retirements also. We have, since last season, had Neil Richmond retiring. He's always just been a coach here, but he officially hung up his boots to remain a coach within the Hashtag United structure at the end of last season. Jamie Jackson has retired as well. We've been fortunate enough to keep him as a goalkeeping coach for the season as well. You can see he's better suited to being a coach or an assistant manager, but we'll keep trying to bring him through. Fantastic backup goalkeeper for us last year. He was phenomenal in our cup run, lifting the League Cup, playing in a lot of those games as well. We also had Tom Williams at 38 years old, the Cypriot international, who did play for Cyprus in one of his last few games, has retired and joined us as a scout, so thrilled to be able to keep him around. Same with Dan Brown. Dan Brown in the real world retired a couple of weeks ago to be close to his family. I think he's followed a similar structure here in the game where he stepped down. A phenomenal player, really great, different attributes for a variety of different traits and attributes. Never really, I think, hit top form for us, but 35 years old, we got a ton out of him. And the other one, the surprising one, Jack Harrison, also retired at 34 years of age. We've kept him around as our under-18s manager. So to each of these 5 gentlemen, really, we of course thank them for their service. They will have jobs for life here, be it part-time or full-time roles. We'll give them the old salute, and we'll hashtag it as well. So with players going out, it usually means there are players coming back in as well. And we've signed 3 players that have come in, joined the squad, our first real signings, with the addition, of course, of Scott Pollock, who we got last season. The first of which is Harvey White. You can see here a 2.5-star current ability player, a 4-star potential player on a non-contract with us, so he's not really costing us anything at the minute. He's 18 years old. He was released from the QPR Academy. We went through in the last episode that little map that we put together for the clubs in our close proximity that we were going to target some of their juniors at. He's going to be fantastic for us. He'll be a deputy to our captain, Andy Cadwatts, for the majority of the season. In addition to him, to replace Tom Williams, we've brought in Tom Hamphrey from Bournemouth. You can see here, 4-star current ability, potential to play even higher, a no-nonsense fullback if there ever was one. You can see a lot of double-figure stats here, which is fantastic for this level. Despite only being 18, he has 15 decision-making, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, on a non-contract agreement, so we aren't paying him a tremendous amount of money, despite him being a phenomenal player. And the last one, the one that I'm most excited about, Armando Shashua is how I'm going to go with. It's probably butchering that pronunciation. If you know how to pronounce his name, please put it in the comment section below. But you can see here, central midfielder, can play at the 10 as well, which is where we're more likely to use him. 3-star current ability, more than 5-star potential. Decent physical, mental, and technical stats for someone so young. Might not come straight into the team the way that Tom Hamphrey probably will, but still a fantastic signing to have. He's only going to go up in value. The other thing that you may have noticed, we have a lot of players whose contracts, their part-time contracts from the start of the series and save, have expired now, and they are now on non-contracts, which means other teams are sniffing around them because they're quality players. So it was always going to be a part of it. If we get promoted again, I think we can actually go part-time, and our finances aren't doing too badly. So we're currently still down for this season. You can kind of see this yo-yo effect in the profit loss each month. But that's because we brought players in, we had signing on fees, whatever else, new contracts, all that sort of stuff that comes with it. We're well and truly under our wage budget, so there could be no complaints from there. I took a pay cut on my most recent contract to manage this season. So hopefully the finances start improving a little bit. We can move to a semi-professional structure and we can get some of these players locked down on part-time contracts so that we can keep them around the club and at least get fees for them if they do get sold on. But at the moment, it's pretty low risk, being that they're here on non-contracts. If someone comes in and poaches them, we can just pick up other players. The main ones, Andy Cade-Watts, Jamel Akeem, Marcus Stamp, Ricky Evans, those players that are currently being hunted by other clubs will all continue to probably play most of the games so that we can keep them here and keep them happy. But as with all the players, they love #United. It's one of their key clubs, one of their favoured clubs. A lot of them like me because we went through that season last year undefeated with that invincible squad. So I think we're in good standing. I don't think we're going to lose too many of these players. If someone comes in, we'll just offer them a new non-contract for like £10 more a week, and then we should be absolutely fine. Tactically, we haven't really changed too much. We're going to use the same structure, style, and roles that we had at the start of last season. What you can expect to see is a changed role for Ryan Adams, moving into a poacher role, the one that Dan Adams has kind of vacated. We did struggle last year getting Charlie Morley, Tashan Richmond, Ryan Adams, and Aaron Couch, who's currently unhappy with his playing time, out there because they were all favouring the right wing spot. Ryan Adams, I thought, was fantastic. Still got like around 15 goals, 15 assists, despite playing a bit part role and falling behind Tashan Richmond in the pecking order for that number 10. So we're going to try and rework him as a striker and see if that can help us get some of our key players all out there on the pitch at the same time. But nothing massive to change here. We're still going to do our fluid counter-attack with our positive mentality. We've got our cautious and attacking ones up our sleeve if we need to change it. But I'm really happy with the structure and how it worked in Season 1. We didn't lose any games within the league itself, which is a phenomenal achievement. I think we can use that again at this level and be successful with it. And hopefully when everyone's had another 12 months with it, we'll be even better. And a lot of our potential players like Armando Shashua, Scott Pollock, Marcus Stamp, Charlie Morley will be 5-star players operating in this system and this structure that they're comfortable and familiar with. Alright, so if we have a look at our pre-season schedule thus far, we played Hadley, Glebe, Homestale and Haringibara, who we actually ground share Coles Park Stadium with. They are 2 divisions above us at the moment. We still managed to beat them 2-0. We've had pretty good performances, rotating quite a few different players through the team, integrating our new players and all that sort of stuff. Our one loss in the pre-season schedule was a 2-1 defeat to Tottenham Under-18s, who we did play last season as our pre-season marquee fixture. To be fair to them, they were the better side in this game. We played essentially a full-strength lineup in that one, just to kind of get everyone used to the faster pace. And they were good value for their win. We only pulled one back through Danyaji late on, once they'd already made all 11 of their changes, I think, at the time. Beat Epsom Athletic after that 3-0, got back to decent form. Ryan Adams getting amongst the goals. He's been very prolific in a few of these games that you can see here, just getting amongst the goals, which is great to see in his new role. We then drew 3-3 with West Ham Under-18s, which is a fantastic achievement given where we're at in the league and where they are as a Premier League academy. And then most recently beat Eltham Palace 2-0. And the game that we'll include today is an away fixture against Boreham in the extra preliminary rounds for the FA Cup, our very first chance, 12 months in, as a team, as a club, to play in FA Cup competition, which is just a phenomenal achievement. If we can go on a little bit of a mini run here and play some of the teams even around like the Isthmian League or Vanarama South or something like that, it'll be a phenomenal achievement for us. So it's another little cherry on top of a cake that has already been delicious so far in each of our episodes. That's a horrible analogy. I might cut that back out. If I've left it in there, it's just out of pure laziness and nothing else. So as we know, #United in this database has about 500 club notoriety. It's not called notoriety. It's like a club, I know what it is. Club stature. So that's the one that I was trying to think of, which is way higher than anybody else in the divisions that we're currently playing in. Because of that, one, we can bring players in direct from the youth academies of Tottenham and Bournemouth and whoever else that we've recruited from. But by the same token, it means the board expects way more of us as well. So we're expected to win the league. We're expected to reach the second qualifying round of the FA Cup, which is absolutely insane. The semi-final of the build-based FA Vase, if you remember to last season, our one defeat was in the first round of that competition. And then we're also expected to reach the final of the Eastern Counties League Cup. Now, as we know, this is a jump up in competition. It's another layer. It's a Premier Division. We struggled a little bit more against the likes of Galston, Norwich United and Thetford Town when we played them in League Cup competition last year. We did still get beyond them, but I don't expect us to go through this season undefeated. I expect teams to catch us up that little bit and us need to get better and develop our structures and systems and change our tactics a little bit depending on who we're playing, where we're playing and how we're travelling in the league form and fitness wise. But if we go into the season preview here, you can see we are 1 to 2 favourites to win the league this season. Stone Market, who did very well last season with Titus Bramble in that side, are evens to get promoted as well. We've got a few players, just a casual 8 players in the Dream 11 for the media. Humphrey, Evans, Akeem, Shashua, Richmond, Adams, and Morley up top, with Andy Cade-Watts in goal, a 33-year-old experienced goalkeeper, still our captain for this season. So we are expected to do well, but again, I think that's just down to our club stature and not necessarily a reflection of how much better we might be than the other teams in our division. But enough talking from me. Let's get to our first game of this season. Let's do this FA Cup qualifying game. It's our last game before real season fixtures kick off in the Premier Division this year. Alright, I got a little bit too excited there. I was too keen to get to kick off, and I skipped past the team report in the match preview. So looking at Balham's team here, they've got Woodward in goal, hidden behind my head most likely, Osame at left back, Hamza at right back, Lee and Blanco as their central defensive partnership, Kelly and Abaj holding midfield, Falston at the 10, Dyer on the left wing, Moss on the right, and Edge up top. For us, and you probably already saw the team a minute ago when we went through Ryan Adams and all the change in roles that we've gone through. Cade-Watts in goal, Tom Humphrey coming in for his competitive debut at left back, Evans and Stamp as our central defensive partnership, Singano at right full back, Sashua will come in for his debut as well alongside Scotty P, holding our midfield together. Tashan Richmond will hopefully continue his last season form at the 10 this year. Harry Honesty on the left wing, our leading scorer from last year. Charlie Morley on the right, leading assist maker for last year. And Ryan Adams in his new poaching role, leading the line up top. We've got Harvey White, who hopefully nothing happens to Andy Cade-Watts, but if it does, Harvey White will make his debut as well. Jamel Akeem, Ross Gleed, Kane Brougham. Lee Hurst's currently carrying a knock, that's why his condition is so low and why he isn't starting. Theo Baker and Daniel Adji on the bench in case they are needed. Full bench of 7, which is always great to have. And away we go on season 2019-2020 in the game, season 2 of our Hashtag United series. Alright, and we've waited 25 minutes for our first highlight. Here it is, and it is Ricky Evans with our first goal of the season. It was a great ball in from Harry Honesty here. We'll check it out. Oh no, it's been ruled out for offside. Alright, hopefully that's not setting a tone for the season and it's not going to be me getting up out of my seat and then sat straight back down. Very humbling. But decent ball in from Harry Honesty. Lovely header back across from Ryan Adams. We've got a highlight here. Woodward's going to take the goal kick. It's a long one forward towards Humphrey, who wins his header well. Tashan Richmond plays it out left to Harry Honesty, who needs to just bring other players into it. He does now with Tashan Richmond. Comes forward now, beats his man, gets to the top of the 18-yard box and strikes from distance when perhaps he could have played Charlie Morley or Ryan Adams in there. But again, not going to frown upon it. Another highlight here, we're still inside the first 10 minutes, which is great to see. Charlie Morley winning the ball back really well. Plays a square one inside, dangerous ball, it's cut out. Played back to Blanco, who looks for a long ball forward. Headed away there by, I think it was Ricky Evans. Tashan Richmond goes back to Humphrey, who plays a ball towards Harry Honesty. Abaj has won it back with Moss now on the halfway line for ball, and he goes past Tashan Richmond's challenge. Good switch of play out to Dyer on the right-hand side, but Singano with a great tackle wins it back. He's coming forward now. He's got men coming up in support. Adams and Honesty are peeling off to the back stick. He's tackled, but it comes back to Shashua. To Richmond. To Adams from distance. Oh, and his left-footed drive from the top of the 18-yard box. Just wide of the near post. Here we go. Honesty with the free kick. It's a decent strike. We might be missing Tom Williams' delivery from those sort of situations this season. He has such great technique last year, and such a big part of our success was his set-piece delivery and free kicks and stuff like that. It was always a danger. We're through 20 minutes now and we have come flying out of the blocks. 11 shots, only 2 on target, which is the only disappointment. 70% possession, despite playing a counter-attacking style. Early signs are good. I'm just going to use a shout here because we're getting towards 25 minutes, just demanding more from the team. See if we can go up a gear and find that goal. And everyone seems pretty focused after that, which is always great to see. I don't know if that's something that other people have been noticing in their games. Demand more and get creative are really the only two that I see consistently work. Everything else is about 50-50, whether you upset a team or fire them up. So I just kind of continue to keep using demand more. Alright, free kick now for Balham. Moss plays it short to Kelly. Out to Moss again, back inside to Kelly. Close them down pretty well, but they've gotten around the right hand side with Moss. It's a great tackle there from Shashua. Plays it down the line to Ryan Adams, who just needs to hold it up. Crosses it to Tashan Richmond, who's tackled pretty much straight away. Leader Osame plays a ball in behind looking for Edge. It should come to Tom Humphrey. He does, finds Honesty down the left wing, who's got space to move into if he can get the goal side of his man. He does indeed. He's bursting forward now. No one steps to him and he strikes from distance, but good save from Woodward. Alright, so last 5 minutes of the half now. We might use another shout and just say get creative and see if that works. Everyone seems pretty inspired by that, which is great. We've got Scott Pollock and Charlie Morley on yellow cards, which we need to keep an eye on. Looks like Morley and Honesty aren't having the great games, though Harry Honesty has been everywhere so far in the opening half. Ryan Adams not having the best game either, but like the chances that we've created, 21 shots is insane in half of football. Humphrey now plays the ball towards Harry Honesty, who has the ball now again, works a nice triangle with Scott Pollock and Tom Humphrey. Reverse pass to him again. He strikes on his right foot, I believe, for his first goal of the season. Good assist there from Scott Pollock. Just worked the triangle nicely, found that little pocket of space. And let's check this one out in 3 dimensions. Just nicely played. Pollock with the ball, reverses it back to Harry Honesty again. There's no one that steps out to him. He pretty much walks to the top of the 18-yard box. And if you've watched Harry Honesty in highlights packages for the real #United side, I don't think he's capable of striking that on his right foot from the top of the 18-yard box. But I'm going to take it. It's how you can tell it's a video game sometimes. And he immediately jumps from 6.6 to an 8.2. That just shows you how important goals are to match ratings and things like that. But a phenomenal first half performance. 22 shots, 6 on target, 68% possession. The yellow cards is probably the only thing that you would get upset about. But let's just calmly tell the team, pleased with how things are going, keep it up. We will have more clinical performances. We will do better in other games. It's the first game of the season. It's always going to take a little while to get your rhythm going, to get momentum, to get whatever else. So nothing to complain about thus far. As always, we'll give it about 15 more minutes before we look at making some subs. Probably Charlie Morley and Scott Pollock, given that they're on yellow cards. Neither of them have done really that much wrong. But it's just important that we don't have any suspensions to carry into the early part of the season. We want to hit the ground running. Evans now with a free kick from distance, and that is a fantastic strike from Ricky Evans, his first goal of the season. 30 yards away. Looked like it curled right into the top corner. I'm not sure about the keeper's positioning in the middle of his goal. Goes the wrong way. And look, I think it hits Woodward on the way in. I'm going to take it because we need the goal, but I would be pretty annoyed if Andy Cade-Watts did something like that to me. Throw in now, Hamza to take. It's cut out well by Shashua, who has been all over the place defensively. Oh shit, that's horrible defensive work there from foray Singano. He heads it to Hoare, who puts it back in. Singano, I think, puts his body on the line with a block tackle and just deflects it past Andy Cade-Watts. We'll see it here in 3D. Shashua does well there, but he heads it straight back to Hamza, and then no one's quick enough out to close him down. His deep ball across is cleared by Singano, who's changed ethnicities in the off-season. Bit of a Michael Jackson story there. Hoare puts it back in, and yeah, it hits Singano for an OG on the way through. Actually, it'll be interesting to see. I think they've given that one to Hoare because it was a goal-bound effort that deflected. I think Andy Cade-Watts would have saved it had it not hit Singano on the way in. Alright, we're getting towards the hour mark now. So Jamel Akeem's going to come on for Scott Pollock, and Theo Baker will come on for Charlie Morley. We'll see Ricky Evans step into midfield, but I'm pretty happy with that. I just want to keep an eye on the yellow cards, and we're going to keep that other sub up our sleeve for the next 25 minutes or so, just in case there's an injury or a yellow card or something like that. Alright, we're through an hour of play now. There's another highlight immediately. Jamel Akeem throw in towards Theo Baker, who tries to get a ball in, but it's recovered pretty easily by Lee. He clears to no one in particular, and Humphrey will tidy up on the left-hand side. Comes forward now into space, finds Tashan Richmond, who looks for a reverse pass to Harry Honesty, who plays back to Richmond again, and his strike from distance. We are shooting from distance quite a bit in this game. Maybe it's not as easy to get around opponents in this higher division than what we had last year. So still only 2-1 despite our dominance. 25 shots, 7 on target, 65% possession, and still only winning the game 2-1. Ricky Evans and Harry Honesty have been our best, both with 8.3, but I guess that makes sense given they've scored both our goals. Moss now with a free kick from distance. Oh, it comes back across. Andy Cade-Watts saved it. I nearly called him Candy Aid-Watts, which is a fantastic nickname. It's corner to be taken by Moss again. It's a deep one, and Cade-Watts does very, very well. Comes out, claims that one. No danger at all. I don't think that free kick was going in, but I guess I'd rather the keeper took a chance and palmed it away for a corner, rather than just kind of waited and see what happens and if it is on target. Shua's picked up a yellow card there, so we're going to sub him out for Lee Hersett, who again is working his way back from injury, so we don't want to run the risk of pushing him too hard. He only has to get through 20 minutes here, but that's all 3 of our subs used. Tom Humphrey hasn't had the greatest game in his debut, but I'd say it's probably more down to the goal than anything else. He kind of was in a nothing area, and it was Shashua that was closing down the ball in an area that you'd kind of hope Tom Humphrey does in future. But I get it. He's getting used to a new role and a new system, and this might actually be his senior debut. Last 15, so we'll use a shout. We'll demand one more time and see if that works. Okay, it worked for Lee Hersett, but Tashan Richmond and Harry Honesty both seem pressured. We'll give it 5 more minutes, and we'll try to get creative again. It worked last time. Ball have now made their 3 substitutes for the game as well. Alright, we've got a throw in here towards Theo Baker, who's got Ryan Adams ahead of him. He feeds him inside now. Holds the ball up well and plays it back to Tashan Richmond, who now looks for a switch in behind for Harry Honesty, who strikes first time when all he had to do was square that one across the 6-yard box, and both Theo Baker and Ryan Adams were goal side, but still, great strike. I think it came back off the crossbar in the end. I want to use our last shout, but there's another highlight here. Ricky Evans has picked it up, played to Lee Hersett, back to Evans, our championship winning combination in midfield from last season. Hanfrey comes forward now, plays inside to Tashan Richmond. Hanfrey again, bursts past a couple of men there, and then plays Tashan Richmond behind him. Richmond's on his own if he can find him. He can turn and go at goal now, strikes from distance, but that one was high, wide, and not very handsome. So we've got a nice little flurry here towards the end of the game. Let's use a shout and just say, get creative, and see if that can get us the sealer, this third goal. We've had 30 shots. If we only score twice, that is pretty horrendous conversion rate. And everyone seems pressured by that now. I'm not sure why. 89th minute, ball forward, should be tidied up easily by Singano. It is. Richmond plays it out right to him again. Can get a ball across if he finds a cross. Instead, it's the goal scorer Hall that wins it back. Played forward to Richford and a crossfield switch. Humphrey's given the ball up to Edge at the top of the 18-yard box, and thankfully his strike is just wide of the far post. A slight mistake there from the young fullback. Nearly let them back in. I'm not sure what happens in this earlier stage of the FA Cup, if it's a replay or if you go to penalties or there's extra time or whatever else, but there's 4 minutes to be added on. At this point, I think I've given up on getting that third goal. Let's just get to the end of injury time without having to force a replay or anything like that. All right, the 4 minutes is essentially up. Singano now with the throw-in on the right-hand side. Back to him. It's a long ball forward, and the referee thankfully calls full time. Apparently we were outstanding at times. 30 shots, 8 on target, 64% possession, and only winning the game 2-1. We need to convert our chances better throughout the rest of this season. Maybe we need to do a bit more of a training focus on attacking play and finishing and whatever else. Good win, boys. Well done. No need to overcomplicate it. Let's just boost everyone's morale, get them back up in these dark, dark shades of green. All right, so a decent performance there. A 2-1 win. I shouldn't look too much into that. It's our first competitive fixture of the season, so we are kind of still in pre-season mode. Ricky Evans, obviously a fantastic performance in that one, an 8.3 match rating and a phenomenal goal from set piece. Let's tell him his defensive work was top-notch, and he is very happy with that, which is great to see. Tom Hanfrey makes his professional debut, or semi-professional, or senior debut, or whatever you're supposed to say, as does Shashua. We received £2,250, which is fantastic. A couple more fixtures, a couple more victories, a little bit more in the piggy bank, and the finances will continue to grow. You can see like 2K is actually a tremendous amount of money when we're dealing with margins like 42 and whatever else. So a good couple of performances in here, and this overall balance is going to spike quite a bit, which will be great to see. And then we do also have, like, our season tickets will get sold in the next couple of weeks. We'll have sponsorships come in. So hopefully there will be a little bit of an early season spike in our financials for the time being. Let's have a look at our schedule here and when we might come back. I'm thinking we play our first 2 games of the season, to be completely honest. Walsham, the Willows, and Norwich CBS. See where we're at in the league, see how we're travelling as far as the season is concerned. Get our August fixtures out of the way before we move into September, and some high quality cup competitions that are available in that month. As always though, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thanks to all the new members and subscribers and whoever else that has joined or followed me on Twitter or whatever else. Thanks to everyone that's put comments in the comment section below. I'm doing my best to respond to every single one that I get. I hope you've had a magnificent Christmas and got everything that you were hoping Santa was going to bring you in that time. All I wanted was to get promoted, and we've done that, and now season 2 has already kicked off. So feel free to like this video if you want to continue supporting the team. Feel free to subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on future videos as they come out. But as always, I will see you guys in the mixer, and don't forget to hashtag it.